And we are live. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. DNP had some connection issues there, but it does seem now like we are live, and yes, we are. You've joined us at the end of the first period. Tampere is currently up at a score of 2-0. Here's maybe a chance with Boston's side of the net. Tampere able to defend that one away. Comes right back into the zone. Boston with another chance. Far boards now. Tampere is bringing it back down the other way. Missed the first couple of goals scored by Jean-Gabriel Pajot from the Ilves, and Tyler Biggs has scored somewhere in the few. You can see Pajot unassisted Biggs from Rasmus Dahlin, and that is how the Ilves find themselves up 2-0 in the final minute to play of the first stanza. Here's a chance for Boston. What a save by Fleury while he was down. What a beautiful save by Marc-Andre Fleury in the dying seconds of the first stanza. Here's maybe another chance. No, Tampere brings it back down the other way, and that might have just saved the Ilves. Or sorry, just saved Boston from allowing a goal. And after one, it is 2-0. Tampere. Shots are 6-1 in favor of the Flying Finns. In game number one, it was the Riptide all over the Ilves. In game number two, it is the Ilves all over the Riptide. It's been a strange game, or a strange second game for every series. Game number one, the home team won just about every single, or they did win every single game. Now in game number two, the road team is winning every single game. Here's a chance, maybe for Boston. Side of the net, no, it does not go. This game remains 2-0. Alexander Barkov now has it. Don't count the Riptide out yet, folks. They've made a season out of never quit. Here's a chance maybe for Boston. No, played away by Brett Pesce. A good defensive stick there. Ryan Lindgren now has it. Brett Pesce disturbs him there. Pesce's able to get across the blue line. It's Josh Manson now behind the net. Pesce has his fingerprints all over this play. Boston's able to clear it through center ice. This one sliding down, just wide. Ryan Pollock, who's stuck behind the net, now has it. Here's a shot right on. Saved by Fleury. Played all the way down. That one takes a funny hop. Chance for the Ilves. No, played off the post. And a good clear there by Boston. They nearly threw it into their own goal, but they were able to get it out of harm's way. Still in the corner now. Trying to get it out. They got it. It was Mika Zibanejad who tried to play it out, and he did. Now behind the net of Marc-Andre Fleury. Tyler Biggs was the first one on that puck, trying to get out of his defensive end. Blocked by Brady Tkachuk into the slot, but cleared away by a teammate. Sharp defensive mind there by the Ilves, and they're able to get it out. Tampere could not find their footing in game number one, but in game number two, they found it really quick. Boston, here's another chance. In the crease. No, it does not go. It's cleared away. Jeremy Swayman had to be sharp, and he was. Shoot, scores. I don't think this one's going to count, folks. Timo Meier would have gotten credit, but I do not believe that this one went in legally. And no, it did not. Looking back at the stream, definitely went in through the back. We should have no goal in this play.
Taking a look here. If you can hear me, I don't
know
how
now.
well my internet is doing. Taking a look back at the replay. Puck very clearly, and it ends up in that corner area and bounces right through the far side of the goal. So this one won't count. One of the easier calls I've had to make this season. So no goal. Back to you.
Seems like I've got double duty here, cameraman and commentator. That's all right. Barkov and Getzlaff now in the draw. Seems to be won by Getzlaff. It's coming down the other way, shot wide. That one never hit the net. Coming back down towards the Riptide end. That takes a friendly Tampere bounce, but Ryan Pollock, a good defensive stick there. He clears it out of harm's way. Back down the other way. Boston now with an opportunity through the crease. Fleury did get a piece of it as the shot counter went up, but he clears it out of the zone. Tampere now with a chance. Getzlav battling behind the net with a little bit of help from a teammate. A point pass. Nobody was there to corral it. Boston trying to get one back here. Off the boards off of a weird shot by Kyle Palmieri, just trying to chip it away from himself, almost put it on his net. Troy Stetcher now has it up to center, now across the blue line. Fired back down by Boston. Off the side of the net, rebound, here's a chance, no, cleared away. Tampere gets it out of their defensive end to neutral ice into the Boston zone. Shot too hard, goes off the boards, coming back down into their defensive zone. That one takes a funny hop, a friendly hop for Boston. Behind the net, it's Alexander Barkov. Ryan Pollock now. That one gets fired right down. A hop off the boards, not so friendly for Tampere off the side of the net. It almost became pretty friendly for the Ilves. In the corner now, Boston's looking for an out. They can't find it yet. They almost got it off Kyle Palmieri. That one nearly crossed the goal line as it goes through the crease, but it did not cross. We remain at 2-0. Shot right to the side of the net. Swayman had to be sharp. Never get the goal. They shoot, they score. What a shot by Adam Larson, but will it count? And it's 3-0 Ilves.
We've got to look at this.
Let's just see. Side of the net. Yes, this one I believe will count. I got a good view of it. I believe it goes off of Swayman's back. It does not go through the back of the net. By the looks of it, from my point of view, in the corner, it comes out off of the back of Jeremy Swayman and into the net. This one is a legal goal, folks.
Oh,
as it gets fired off the end boards, bounces into the middle of the ice, near where the crease is, goes off Swayman's back and enters the net. From the broadcast POV, this looks to be a good goal. Now the goal light is on really early, but that could just be lag, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. That is kind of... I had to slow it down, but yeah, it looks like this puck ends up in the corner.
Yeah, and then it bounces out to the middle off the back of Jeremy Swayman and into the back of the net.
Yep. Bounces off the back of Swayman and in. This one counts. So this is a 3-0 game in favor of the Tampere Ilves. What a weird one.
It was an odd one, wasn't it? We do have a good goal. And the Ilves now lead by a count of 3. But where have we seen this one before?
Yeah. Well, what I will add is that last game, Boston was making all of the plays, making use of weird bounces off the boards, passing to themselves and taking advantage. And this time it's the Tampere Ilves who might have gotten a little bit more adjusted to this game.
Whoa. Huge leg there off the draw.
Big leg spike.
That puck was already down behind the Boston net. They got it cleared. It's in the crease. Will it go? No, it will not. Patrick Stefan almost had his infamous moment once again, except this one was already to the side of the net, and he didn't have an empty cage. Jean-Gabriel Pajot gets credit for his second goal of the game, and Tampere leads by 3. 5 minutes remaining here in the second period. In the near corner. Looking to be cleared by Boston, and it is. To the blue line, they try to fire it down. They do. Funny hop off the boards. No one's there. Puck's coming back down the other way. A chance for Pajot for the hat trick. No, he gets bumped. Tyler Biggs maybe here for his second goal of the game. He pushes it wide. Fired right down just wide of the Tampere net. This one takes a funny hop. This could be a chance for the Ilves. No, gets turned away by Boston, heading back north. Shots are 11-9 in favor of Tampere, with just 3 minutes remaining here in this middle stanza. Shot on just wide. Kirby Doc with maybe the best chance for Boston thus far. Jeff O'Neill now has it. Here's Cal Palmieri and Troy Stetcher off the bump, trying to get a shot off, but couldn't. Now behind the net of Jeremy Swayman. Maybe a chance for Mikkel Backlund. He's stuck. There's Troy Stetcher now, trying to find a pass. Kirby Doc's able to get it turning back the other way. He fires it back behind his net. Jesse Pugliarvi or Duncan Keith, who's going to win the race? It seems to be Keith as he gets it up the center and fired all the way around the net of Marc-Andre Fleury. To the near point, fired back down. There's Ray Ferraro. Cleared away by the Ilves. But it comes back to the 100-foot mark. Now all the way back to Tampere's end. Shot just wide. And after 2 periods of play, the Ilves are leading 3-0. Shots are 11-9 in favor of the Finns.
Well, it seemed like the Boston Riptide definitely played better in that period. But it seems like, for the most part, the Ilves are still in control of this game. We'll have to see what response the Riptide have in store for period 3.
Like we said, folks, we've seen this once before. The St. Louis Cyclones led after 2 in game number 1. The difference is Quebec City ended up scoring a goal in the second period that was able to get that comeback started. And now they did put up 3 goals in the third and ended up winning the game in regulation. So this is a little bit different set of circumstances, but could we see Boston pull off a miracle here in game number 2? We are underway. Here's a shot all the way down the ice. That one's just going to miss Fleury's net. A good chance maybe for Boston there. A long shot never hurts. We see a lot of 200-foot goals in this one. That one takes a funny hop off Timo Meyer, who would have got the goal had it have counted. Here's a chance for Brett Pesce as that puck slides wide of the cage. The near corner. Tampere's looking for a man. An open man. Here's a chance for Pugliarvi. That was Pajot looking for the hat trick. There's only ever been one hat trick in the history of NSHL, and of course, it would be Connor McDavid of the Detroit Royals. Here's a shot down the ice.
They didn't make the playoffs, though.
They didn't make the playoffs, but it was an incredible comeback. I believe that was a 4-1 game that Detroit ended up winning 5-4.
I believe that was a 3-0 game that they came back. They scored the first in the second period, and then they added 3 more in the third. And then there was another goal from, I believe they were playing the Red Bull to tie it back up at 4.
I think it was the Cyclones.
I believe they played the Cyclones in St. Louis.
Oh, maybe.
And this game was in Detroit. I believe they were playing the Red Bull. Anyhow, score gets tied up at 4, and then
pitch for Boston side of the net clear.
And then Detroit ended up winning it in regulation too,
with a hat trick by Connor McDavid, propelling them over the top. 13 minutes remaining here in the third period. Boston is looking for an answer. Tampere is looking for the icer. Here's a chance for Boston, and the slot cleared away by a good defensive stick of the Ilves. Might have been Josh Manson. Tyler Biggs now in the corner. He's had his fingerprints all of this game. Blocked at center ice by Brett Pesce, looking for a teammate, maybe for a one-timer. Gets it, but the shot isn't on the net. Into the near corner. Behind the net of Swayman. Played back to the point. Duncan Keith keeps it off the post. Maybe a chance the other way for Nikita Zaitsev. A big battle for it. It's on the net. Boston saved by Fleury. Fleury keeps it at 3-0. An A+ scoring opportunity for the Riptide that just did not go. Here's another chance just wide. Fleury's pulling to Jeremy Swayman. Swayman blanked the Ilves last game. Fleury is currently blanking the Riptide. Here's a chance. That one bounced over Marc-Andre Fleury. Otherwise, he would have got credited with another save. Taylor Hall wins the race. Little push from behind. Here's a shot right on just wide. To the
and just don't forget, Marc-Andre Fleury also has a goal this season.
He sure does.
Going back to the Detroit Royals that we were talking about, it was against the Little Nice Fencers, so we were both wrong.
Oh, it was against the Fencers. Okay. Here's another chance for Tampere. This one's going to go. It does. It's Troy Stetcher. Tampere has potentially the insurance they were looking for. And it's 4-0 for the Finns.
And just like that, we're in an alternate reality in which the Tampere Ilves were up 4-0 and the Boston Riptide are not. As it's a complete reverse of what happened in Game 1.
And that's sort of the trend that we've been seeing in this Game 2. Or in these Game 2s. The home team won every single... Oh, here's a chance for Boston to get back. No, they couldn't. The home team won every single game in game number 1, and now the road teams, well, if this game ends the way it does, will win every single game. Here's a chance they score! Fleury does not get the blanket he wants as Ryan Pollock takes a full ice shot, and he scores!
And where have we seen Boston come back from down 4-1 before?
That was 4-0.
Not in the NSHL, that's for sure. Ryan Pollock gets the goal. But I still get the feeling that the Boston Riptide are not focused on this one. They just wanted to stop the bleeding, and I think their minds are set on what their plan is for game number 3 when they head on the road to face the Ilves.
This game isn't over yet, folks, though. Oh, here's maybe a chance for the Ilves to get back on the board. Saved by Swayman. Rebound. Still broken away. Cleared away by Swayman. Maybe another chance for Boston if it takes a good bounce. And it didn't. It died against the boards. The Ilves, they have an opportunity coming back down the other way. The Boston fans are in it, but with just 5 minutes to go, can they get 3 goals in the remaining 5 minutes? It's very possible, but incredibly unlikely. Zibanejad behind the net battling with Tyler Biggs, who, like I said, has had his fingerprints all over this game. Fired down by the Riptide. It's just wide. It takes a friendly hop. In the crease, they score! They score! How about that scene again? He scored in game number 1. He's now scored in game number 2. This game isn't over, folks. Don't go anywhere.
They now go to within 2. They've got 4:19 to score, and we have seen 2 goals scored in less than that. Granted, they are for 2 different teams, but if they can get a quick shot off this draw, they might be able to make something interesting happen.
Swayman had just pulled himself out of his cage. It is now a 6-on-5 advantage for Boston, but with the empty net. Here's maybe a chance off the draw. It gets turned back the other way. Swayman is not out of his cage. Now he is. 3 minutes remaining. Can Boston pull back a miracle? Coming back down the other way. Here's Jeremy Swayman. Fires it just wide. He needed that one. 3 minutes to go. Can Boston do the unthinkable? They got to get one really quickly. Just 2 minutes to play. It's looking less and less likely. It takes a good hop for Boston. Into the slot. Nobody's there. Ray Ferraro potentially had an opportunity, but he couldn't put it home. Boston needs one quickly. They fire it down. It's wide. Is there a rebound? No. Tampere brings it back the other way. Empty cage. Can Tampere put it home? It's Josh Manson. Here's a chance. Wide open net. No. 30 seconds remaining. Boston needs a quick one. It's sliding. It's wide. They can't get the rebound, and it's too little too late. The Riptide put up an absolutely stellar fight in the final 10, but they come up just short. The Tampere Ilves have won game number 2, just like the rest of their away team compatriots, and they're heading back overseas with a tie series.
And that is exactly the definition of too little too late. Boston gave up 4 goals in this one to the Tampere Ilves, and by the time they finally got their first on the board, this game was pretty much already over. They tried their best coming back towards the end there, but it's a bit tough to come back from down by 4. Just don't ask the Toronto Maple Leafs about that.
Hey, that was 3. Shut up. They did try to come back down by 4, folks, and they gave it an absolute rocker of an opportunity. The Riptide had an opportunity, and they didn't. I wouldn't say they fully squandered it. They did get 2 back, but they couldn't get 4 back in the final 10 minutes of the third period. What series we have to come. Every single series is heading back to what was the away squads for game number 1 and 2 is now going back to their barns for game 3 and 4. Those being, well, 1, the Tampere Ilves are heading back home with a 1-1 series tie after winning game number 2. The New Orleans Wildcats are heading back to New Orleans, Louisiana with a tie series after winning game number 2. The Indianapolis Motorheads are heading back to Indiana with a tie series after winning game number 2. And why am I blanking on the other team? The St. Louis Cyclones, who arguably should be up 2-0 in the series right now after they dominated game number 4 but had an absolute collapse at the second half of that game. They ended up winning game number 2 in, once again, very convincing fashion, heading back to St. Louis tied 1-1. We severely apologize for the connectivity issues we had. DMP was actually meant to be the cameraman in this one, and I was meant to call this game. I still called it, but I was also the cameraman. We had some connectivity issues to start this one, so we apologize for the late start. But it was still jam-packed with action, and you didn't miss a whole heck of a lot. You missed 2 Tampere goals, but the exciting part of the game you still caught. From me, a builder, DNP has been my broadcast partner with me here tonight. We thank you for joining us. Once again, we our sincerest apologies for the connectivity issues. We hope to have that solved for game number 2. Game number 3, pardon me, and those will be tomorrow night between the Washington Nationals visiting the Indianapolis Motorheads and the Quebec City Bandits visiting the St. Louis Cyclones. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great night, everybody. Take care.